Welcome to the Tennis.com podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nina Pantic, and we're coming to you from the USTA National Campus in Lake Nona. I'm joined by my co-host, Irina Falcone.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Our guest for this episode is Sam Crawford. Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Hi, thank you.
So we're here at the USTA. Let's start right away with what brings you here and what are you doing this off-season?
So I'm working on trying to play tennis again. It's been a while, so I'm just doing knee exercises and trying to get stronger, and I've been hitting a little bit, and I've also been teaching tennis some, so it's been fun.
For those who don't know, Sam Crawford is 24 years old, American pro tennis player, and has been ranked as high as number 95. When did the injury troubles begin for you?
Kind of towards the end of 2017. It got to the point where I basically couldn't really walk without having pain in my knee, and then it took a while for me to get surgery because I tried to not get surgery because I hate having knee surgeries because I've had 5 of them. So it started towards the end of 2017 and kind of has carried on since then.
Wait, so you really have had 5 surgeries?
Yeah, my first one was when I was 12.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
On the same knee?
First one was on the right knee, and then my right knee's been good since I was 12, which has been great. And then my left knee was no, I don't want to be good. And so I've had 4 on the left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So was it one of those things, obviously you were doing really well. We talked a little bit about the fact that you made 2016 semifinals in Brisbane. Mm-hmm. And was it one of those things where it was already lingering? Did it start then or a little bit after?
It was kind of sporadic. Every couple years I would tear my meniscus again, and so I've torn it 4 times, I think. And
you say that so nonchalantly though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think just growing up I always because it started when I was 12 and then 15 and then 18 and then it just kept happening every couple years, and then this last time it was the worst that it's been. And I kept trying to put it off, and then it just got to the point where I couldn't anymore.
Is it a genetic thing where it's going to happen? You're predisposed to this? Is it because you're so tall? Because for listeners, she's 6'2". Is it something about your technique? Is there any reason behind it?
I think for me it was I always grew really quickly, and I was always really tall, just growing up, and I think that had a part to do with it. I don't think anything genetic, but I think just being tall is sometimes not that great. Everyone's always oh, you're so tall, it's so great. And I'm yeah, until you see my knees.
Thanks for making me feel better, Sam.
Yeah,
appreciate
you're welcome.
It. So tell us a little bit about how you got into tennis.
I started when I was 4. My mom put me in a summer camp, and I think everyone else in the summer camp was 6, and they were she's not going to last the whole summer camp for 2 hours at a time, so you can take her out after an hour. And apparently after an hour I refused to leave, and then someone told my parents I had good eye-hand coordination, and that was the end. I've only played tennis since then.
That's what it started.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
When did you start taking it really seriously?
I think I missed too many days of school in 4th grade. But my teacher at the time loved tennis, and he marked me as there when I was not there for sure. And so then after that I was homeschooled, and then in 6th or 7th grade I moved to Florida to start training more, and kind of from then I think 13, 14 I was really into it.
So your family moved you to Florida for tennis?
Yeah.
Where were you before?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So the homeschooling, what did you think of that when you were a kid? Because I did the same exact, almost identical story. I was 11 and we moved to Florida for tennis. And then by 12, I was homeschooled. And looking back, I'm I don't know if I would agree with that. What's your take?
I'm kind of upset. I never got to go to prom just because I wanted a prom dress. That's the main thing. I don't think I really missed out on anything else except for that. Online schools always try to make an online prom, and it's weird and awkward, and I refuse to participate. But other than that, I think the other experiences that I got to have like outweighed like the cons.
Because you good.
I'm a big fan of the homeschooling thing. I actually talk about future kids. I'm like, I totally want them to be homeschooled, because when you're in a traditional school, you have 8 hours, 9 hours that you're in school, you have to be in school. If you're homeschooled, if you can be done with school in 2 hours and have the rest of the day, I mean, it frees you up so much.
Yeah, well, not everyone like learns at the same pace either. Like
Right.
in traditional school, you have to wait for everyone to like get a concept and then move on. But I also think like now they have more like programs where you can go like 1 or 2 days a week and then like kind of get that social aspect of school, and then the rest of the days do everything online. Or I think more schools are doing like more online classes anyways. So
And speaking of school, you're actually in school right now.
I am.
How's that going?
It's awful.
I know you love accounting, right?
Yes.
That's your favorite class.
I've gotten all A's in accounting.
There you go.
Apparently I'm going to be an accountant soon. No, I'm taking a speech class right now. It's awful. I didn't do well on my last speech. Kind of disappointed myself.
Was that the one where you were supposed to have 5 people kind of listen to you public speaking? Is that one?
6.
6 people.
Yeah.
Were you able to get that?
It's tough. I don't have that many friends.
Ditto.
But the school's online. What's the school called?
It's Broward College. It's like a smaller school in South Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
So how come you did not decide to go the IU East route?
I was going to, but then I like talked my way out of it with my dad. Like when I was like 19, I was like, oh, I'm busy.
For those of you listening, the IU East route, what I was referring to is that the WTA has a program with Indiana University East that if you get a C or better, 75% of your tuition will be paid for. So it's a great program, and it's funny to me that you were able to talk yourself out of that.
Yeah, no, it's a great program. Like, looking back, I'm like, why didn't I do that? But yeah, so when I was 19, I was like, I don't want to do school anymore, and now I'm still like the same. But no, it's good. I mean, I've always wanted to go back to school, and like my parents have always told me like you can do school whenever, so it's always been a goal of mine. So here I am doing it now.
Is it safe to say that you never considered the college route? Were you always dead set on pro tennis?
No. I actually, I didn't turn pro until like right before I was 18. So kind of things changed when I won U.S. Open Juniors. Before that, I was looking at colleges and wanted to go that route. And then after the U.S. Open that year, like right before my senior year, I wanted to take my time making that decision, and because it's a big decision, I think some people make it too quickly, and so I did take my time, and I took some visits, and then I ultimately decided to turn pro though.
Was there a school that you were kind of leaning towards?
Yeah, well, I looked at a few, and then I was going to go to USC.
Oh, wow.
In California. Yeah.
Love it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I went to UCLA.
Oh.
Interesting. So you mentioned the U.S. Open very casually. You're the junior U.S. Open champion.
Yeah.
I want to say 2012.
Yeah, exactly. It was 2012.
And how did that change life for you? Was that an I made it moment?
Well, so before the juniors, I actually qualified for the main draw, and that was like my first time playing singles at the U.S. Open. So that was cool. I was there for, like from the very first day to the very last day. So and I played every event. So I played qualies, women's singles, women's doubles, mixed doubles, junior singles, and junior doubles.
Holy cow.
I was tired.
So here's my question to you.
Yes.
Were you pro before you started that U.S. Open qualifying?
I was not.
Wow. Okay, so you did not take any of the money.
No.
Yikes.
Wow. Okay, so for those of you listening, obviously you have professional amateur status, and Sam, when you played the U.S. Open at that time and you played all these different events and probably would have made out pretty good,
Yeah.
you took $0.
Yep. I was amateur.
Wow.
That's
Do you
I
ever
turned
look back
pro,
and regret
like,
that?
January 1st the next year.
Oh my goodness. That gives me anxiety, to be honest. Do you ever
yeah.
look back and you're like, oh, I would have done that differently, or are you just, you know what, everything happens for a reason kind of the way, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it played out the way that it should have for me. Like, I really had like no expectations going into that U.S. Open. Like, I was just so excited to be there and like being able to play singles, because in the past I'd only played doubles in main draw, so I was like a wild card in everything. And even junior singles, I was a wild card. Yeah, so.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a naturally very powerful player. We could say more than an aggressive baseline, a super aggressive baseliner. Is doubles something that's helped you? Is that something you want to pursue as well in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up, doubles wasn't my favorite. I think I definitely started doing better in doubles like as I got older. Well, I mean, hard courts, I didn't do okay in doubles, I guess. I won it like 2 years in a row.
No big deal.
Yeah. And yeah, I think now coming back, like I would start to play doubles more, I think.
Hey listeners, you're listening to the Tennis.com podcast. This episode features WTA pro Sam Crawford. She's telling us about all of her knee struggles and how she's overcoming them to come back to the tour in 2020. Keep listening.
So tell us a little bit about your experience or what you're going through right now. Obviously, you're rehabbing. Do you have a date as to when you'd like to start competing again or, training a little more ferociously on the court?
Yeah, originally I wanted to try to do off season this year, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But hopefully, like by next year, like beginning of the year, I want to start trying to play tournaments, hopefully.
Are you based here in Nona?
Yep.
Yeah, so
I am.
You have the full support system of the USTA for everything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
How do you like living here compared to Boca?
I like Boca.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the thing with Lake Nona, like there's so many like things that are being built right now. I think in a couple years it's going to be unbelievable, but right now like everything is 30 minutes away, which drives me insane. Like if I want to go somewhere, I like put it in my like phone and it says 30 minutes. Like
25 to 30 minutes is literally
given.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that one. But yeah, I think in a couple years, I mean, it's already grown up so much though.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. You weren't here in 2016, but Walmart wasn't even open.
Yeah, I mean, when I got here, Walmart was here, so.
Oh, okay. Wow. Killing it then.
I mean, there's got to be something better than Walmart. Is there anything that you do here that you actually are looking forward to doing? Like, is there Disney World, Universal?
Boxy Park is solid, I think.
Yeah.
Boxy Park is solid.
I used to live like right there.
That's right.
But Boxy Park wasn't there when I lived there. I had a Universal like annual pass, me and Allie Kick. We went like a bunch of times and got really sick of it. So I'm kind of holding off. I'm like, maybe I should get a Disney one because I haven't been since I was like 12.
But then I get sick of that too.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be the same thing. And I'm going to be like, why did I do this to myself?
So let's talk a little bit about your friendship with Allie. I'm also very close with Allie Kick. So she also had very similar injuries as you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Same exact ones.
Yeah, we had one of the same surgeries, with the same surgeon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
And
you're
is it the meniscus
surgery
injury?
sisters.
No, she had a cartilage defect, but we both had like an Oates procedure, so they transplant like cartilage into that defect.
Oh, that sounds complicated.
Yeah,
It's making me gag.
Oh, you should see the pictures.
Can
Wait,
we
I'm
not? We don't
fascinated.
need to see pictures. I really would rather not.
I have them on my phone.
No. No.
I'm intrigued. So wait, the cartilage injury, they managed to transplant cartilage from where to get it in there?
It's from a donor, from like a cadaver. Yeah.
That sounds really complicated and
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, you get, well, first they go in and do a scope to see that you're like a candidate, that you have enough surrounding cartilage that the transplant will take. And then after that, you get put on a donor list like 6 weeks after that initial surgery. So you're kind of just waiting for them to call you.
How long was the wait for you?
I waited like not that long, actually. Like I think like a couple months, like 2 months.
Is that rare or is it typically fairly quick?
I think it just depends on like the size of the graft that they need / the donor like that becomes available. I thought mine was going to take longer because they had to have 2 different donor grafts because I had my meniscus and then I had cartilage like behind my patella also. So I'm probably it's probably wrong what I'm saying from what I understand.
You sound like an expert.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Source.
I would
Yeah.
not
From what
disagree.
I understand, like, yeah. And then sometimes like cartilage, well, usually I think for the cartilage, you can't wait that long after they have the donor. So
All right.
you get called and you have to be out. Well, the doctor was in Colorado at the time. He's moved now. But so you have to be out there within like 48 hours.
Wow.
So is that why it took so long? Because you've been out for 2 years? Is it because it required multiple surgeries to get you to where you are now?
Yeah, well, so initially I was trying not to get surgery, so I tried like PRP injections, which is
Plasma.
Plasma. They take your blood and then they like put it in a thing that spins it, and then the plasma separates, and then they like re-inject it back into your knee, which is super fun. So yeah, I did like 3 of those.
Did you take an anesthetic for that?
No.
Oh my goodness. So I had that done in my toe. They did a PRP injection and they were like, okay, well, it's going to be so and so much more expensive if you get an anesthesia.
Oh, they told me that it like counteracts the injection.
It might be a different, like, predicament for you.
I wasn't given the option.
Well, honestly, I don't think that the option was given until it was asked for by me, because I wanted to make sure I didn't feel anything.
Yeah. They sprayed like this cold thing to like try to distract me, and then I was like, yeah, this is fine, and then I was like, this is not fine.
Was it the most painful thing you've ever had?
No. Actually, it was weird. The first one like was pretty bad. The second one, I like did not feel anything. And then the third one, so going into the third one, I was like, oh, this is going to be fine. Like, I didn't feel anything the second time around. And the third time, I was like, nope, this is bad. Yeah. So.
But now you're done with the surgeries. Is a knee
Yes.
meant to be perfect forever now?
I don't think it ever was perfect. But yeah, hopefully no more surgeries on that knee or on anything for that matter. But yeah, it's been feeling better, like just walking. I guess that's like a pro, like I can walk without pain. So
Were you able to get a lot of insight and feedback from Allie since she had a similar injury?
yeah, I remember, so after the surgery you have to be on crutches for like 3 months. And I remember I like stepped on my leg, like you're not supposed to put weight on your bad knee. And I stepped on it, like, and I was like, because I was slipping, like it rained, like I went onto like tile and I slipped.
I remember you told me that. That's right.
Yeah. And my dad was like freaking out. He was like, you need to go get like an MRI, like whatever. And I like texted Allie and I was like, Allie, did I just like ruin everything? And she was like, no. Like, I've done that. Like, you're fine. And like she had to like convince me that I was fine. But yeah, it was great having Allie, and like she even before, like she was like, oh, you should go see this doctor, like, and because I had gotten like multiple opinions obviously at that point. So yeah, it's always nice having someone that's been through it.
Throughout this whole ordeal, it's been about 2 years. Have you constantly been preparing to come back? Was that always the idea?
Yeah, it's always been my goal, like, to come back and play again. My last tournament wasn't that great, so I don't want that to be, like, the last tournament that I ever play. I think that will bother me a lot, so.
Have you ever had a moment where you're like, I may not come back?
Yeah, I mean, there was one point, like, when I was still on crutches, and, like, I had to be on, like, this motion machine for, like, 4 hours every day, and then I was doing physical therapy and like trying to get range of motion back in my knee, and that was like probably one of the most painful things like that I've been through. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? But then it always gets better. I feel like with any like injury, there's always like this point where you feel like you're not improving, and it's really frustrating.
But if you were doing that rehab just to learn to walk again.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not you played tennis, that wasn't even like in the cards at that moment, but it was just that painful just to get to walk again.
Yeah, and they were pushing me more because they were like, you have different goals than like most people after surgery. Like, your goal is not to just like walk and like function daily normally. Like, so I was like, why are you doing this to me? But in reality, I was doing it to myself.
You must have had a very strong support system to get through all this, because I'm sure your family and your coaches and your friends are used to you being a tennis player. You were actively on tour every week, and now for 2 years you've been struggling and trying to figure out what to do. What's that support system been like?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, my parents were there for me. My dad like dropped everything when I got the call for surgery, and would like get me food and stuff, and like whatever. I would yell for my parents to get me food when I was when I was just laying there, like because of crutches. And yeah, my friends have been great. Maddie Brangle actually sent me like a care package like for every week I was on crutches, which like I would be like at physical therapy. I'd be like, today's the day I get my care package, and like it would get me through it, which was like unbelievably nice of her. And then I was like with my dog.
We got to talk about Lola.
Yeah, Lola. Lola, yeah. And yeah, everyone's just been so nice. And I'm so thankful for that.
It takes a village, right?
Yeah, it does.
I know Captain Kathy Rinaldi has also been in your corner as well. And
yes.
You're actually going to Maddie Brangle's over for Thanksgiving, is that right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Kathy's been there for me like since I was like 14.
Right.
Always, no matter what. And yeah, Maddie, it's like now a tradition that I go to her place for like Thanksgiving, I guess. Like I'm adopted Brangle now.
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
so cool. Hey everyone, we're here with Junior Grand Slam champ Sam Crawford talking all things Lola, her dog, her hating accounting, and how much she loves to nap. Keep listening.
Were there any hobbies or non-tennis related things you picked up or got better at during this hiatus?
Accounting.
School.
Yes.
School's good.
I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do your taxes soon. I can't do my own taxes, but no, school has taken a lot of my time like recently.
Are you almost done?
I'm almost done with the semester, and then I have like 3 classes, and then I'm actually going to transfer to like University of Florida.
So then how long will you have once you get to University of Florida? How many years will it take?
2.
Okay. Because I went 2 years at Georgia Tech, and then it still took me 4 years for online schooling to finish and get an actual degree.
Oh, man.
Well, I wasn't taking that many classes, so that also makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You're going to go at a slower pace if you're at, fully on tour.
Right.
So I guess the good news of you being injured is you've had more time.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started out, I was like, I'm going to take 1 class and see how it goes. And then it really escalated
You've added
from
on.
there. Yeah. I took like 5 this semester. Yeah.
Was there ever a moment where you're like, whoa, this was too much?
This week.
Is it finals week this week?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but are the finals online and you can cheat and open your books and
They're
stuff?
proctored.
They're proctored now.
As in someone comes to your
like,
home?
No, like the webcam like watches you and tracks like your eye movements, and then they like a live proctor can like pop in and be like do a room scan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
They're getting serious about it because everybody was cheating at one point. It's like
I was, thank you.
Yeah. So did you really get a degree then? It's like so that's why they have that proctor there available.
Actually,
makes
whatever
sense.
works to get your degree. Like
True. We're not endorsing cheating, guys.
No,
Let's just know that.
but I'm just comparing it to my high school online experience. And
High school
we
is
didn't
a
have. I
different
know.
story.
Oh,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I did a few
it's-
college classes as well in the year off before UCLA, and no one was spying on me through the webcam.
That was
that
no,
sounds
like-
like an invasion of privacy.
That was a
no,
little
the
bit ago.
software is like intense. Like I delete it after I'm done with every test because I'm like I don't want this on my computer
That's scary.
because they have access to like everything. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you put a little like sticker on top of your webcam so they never access it
no.
again.
This has changed my perspective of what online college degrees are.
Well, good thing you're not going to college anymore.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, did you have to take SATs and stuff? Was that part of the process? No.
I took the SAT like way back, so they accepted that.
Okay.
Thankfully, I didn't. I had like a panic attack before the SATs.
I mean, everyone does. That's a standard. At least you didn't go to
Yeah.
prom, but you got to do that.
Well, I forgot to bring a calculator, and they did not have backups.
So what did you do? Did you actually have to do like long multiplication and all
I
that?
did everything like on like the scratch paper or like I cried.
Are you good at math? Is that your thing?
I hate math.
Okay. Okay. So the accountant's was a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm good at like accounting math. I'm not good at like
Yeah.
algebra.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
The reason why I say the accounting thing is because every time I see a Snap story from
Oh, yeah.
Sam, it's usually complaining about accounting.
Yes.
That's why it's
Oh,
funny. But
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. I took it too, and I was like, C will do the trick.
I think it's great though that you have taken something negative like having an injury and found the positives. You're
Thank
like,
you.
you know what? My knee's gonna be all right. My right knee's good, and I got school.
Yeah, I love school.
Good.
Sound like such a good endorser there.
Yeah, I know. Like, see me crying later this week over my algebra final, and
I wouldn't be surprised seeing a little Snap story about it. I can't wait for it.
Oh yeah, I'm usually sitting at Starbucks and I'm like, why is this my life?
But another fun fact about you, though, you also speak another language, right?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, it's Mandarin, right?
Yep, Mandarin. Yeah.
That's useful.
Yeah, I lived there for like 10 months when I was 10, and it's not perfect. I think it's probably gotten worse. But like one in Brisbane, like there was this Chinese reporter there. He was super cool, like, and he was so excited that I could speak Chinese, and they were like, so he was like, "What's your Chinese name?" And I told him, and apparently I pronounced it wrong. So it translated to like something with a fish, which it's not. And my mom was like, "Oh my God, he thinks your name is like this with a fish," and I was just like,
"What's it supposed to be?"
It's supposed to translate to like flower, like and it's like with some character in this like book that's like very famous in China apparently. So that's why it's on my Twitter and on my Instagram now, so I can be like, "This is how you spell it," because I can't.
That makes
read
sense.
or write. Yeah.
Okay, I noticed that.
Yes.
How do you say it?
Dalian.
Okay.
I probably pronounced it wrong again.
I'm not going to try and pronounce that.
That's awesome. You pronounce your name however you want.
Yeah.
So does that make the Asian swing then a lot more fun for you because you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, my mom usually went with me, which is nice because like I would have her, and I don't mind the food. Like I've already lived there before, and plus like she can read the menus very easily. So she would always order stuff like that I would want to eat, or I would never have a problem with that.
Do you speak with Christina McHale sometimes?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Her Chinese is like way more proper than mine is, because she like learned it in school, and I just learned it like from people like talking to me.
You learned the slang version?
Yeah, for
Gotcha.
sure.
That's awesome.
I find that awesome as well. Like being able to speak any other language is cool, but Mandarin, I mean, it's mind-boggling. Can you write and read?
No. My
That's
mom's like tried to teach me how to write my middle name like for like since I was like 4. So I'm going on 20 years like not being able to learn it.
Oh man.
There's like 30 steps.
30 steps for a middle name.
That's like an exaggeration, but there's like probably like 15 steps.
That's still quite a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow.
I feel like we've gotten to know you a little bit better in this episode. That's kind of been the point. But when you think about next year, is there a certain month or season or part of the season that you think you're going to be back at? People can expect you, look forward to it.
I hope like spring.
Okay.
That's my hope. I'm kind of just taking it like slowly. I don't want to like hurt myself again or like hurt something else trying to like get back faster than necessary. I messed up like the whole protected ranking thing, so I don't really have like a deadline for that either. So
Really?
Wait. What do you mean you messed it up?
well, so they changed the rule like literally last year I think, and made the ranking like lower, but I kept playing like tournaments, so my ranking dropped because I had points to defend. So I wasn't like eligible technically.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a certain ranking that you actually have to have. Is it like top
Yeah.
250, 300?
Yeah, I think
okay.
it's 250. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So you're not eligible because you weren't ranked in the certain cutoff.
I was trying to be very positive and like, and that backfired.
Okay, but I think you'll get wild cards, and the USTA and American tournaments will support the comeback.
That's the great thing about
Hopefully.
being American.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's just so many tournaments not every single week, but, I mean, you have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Damn, I really thought you had the PR. Okay,
will
well,
remember me.
people will remember you because of this episode. Irina, yeah?
Well, yeah.
So just for any listeners that really don't know much about you, any other tidbit you want to share with fans about yourself, or something fun that you like to do? Anything?
I love taking naps.
Oh, you are a napper. She says that she takes naps every single day. This is true.
And I
Yeah.
send Irina Snapchats of my awful cooking.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So if you ever like hear me like, oh, do you want to try this thing that I made? Like, probably should run away very fast.
All right, duly noted then.
All right, perfect. A perfect place to end. Thank you, Sam Crawford, for joining us on the
Thank
Tennis.com podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This has been an episode with Nina Pantic and Irina Falcone and Sam Crawford.
Thanks for listening, you guys. Awesome job, Sammy.
Thank you.
From the Tennis Channel Podcast Network, this has been the Tennis.com podcast. Be sure to subscribe to stay caught up. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every major listening app, as well as tennis.com/podcasts. You can also see the video of our episodes on Tennis Channel's YouTube page and tennis.com's Facebook page. We're your hosts, Nina Pantic and Irina Falcone. We'd like to thank our team, editor and audio designer Luke Mahoney, video editor Christina Koseva, producers Alexa March and Sean O'Malley, and executive producers Shelby Coleman, Kyle Einhorn, and Andy Chu.